All right, so I had to take notes for this one because this is a good one. I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty good one, right? So you guys were asking, some people were asking in the comments, like, man, I'm on body game, like my body's in shape, like I got leaner, man, but I still lack the confidence, this, that. You got to do the inner fucking work. Listen, I'm going to explain to you exactly where confidence comes from. So, like, confidence is going to come from you going through a lot of different situations, you bringing into reality your goal life. Like, when you write down goals and you're accomplishing these goals, you're going to gain confidence. When you have success at work, you're going to gain confidence. Let me give you an example. In 2016 for me, right? Because remember, this body game shit is more than looks. Because if you have the look, but your attitude and your energy doesn't match, then you're gonna scare everybody away. All right, you're gonna scare dudes away from asking questions and being inspired. You're gonna scare chicks away from interacting with you. But in 2016, the beginning of 2016, I'll never forget. Like I told you guys, I was working in the fucking gym and I was getting disrespected because I was skinny as shit. So I wrote down those goals and I was like, yo, I'm gonna fucking accomplish this shit. And me going through those hard moments over and over where I was like, dude, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this, man. This shit's hard. This is hard. But I kept pushing forward. I kept going. I kept going. And then at the end of the year, me becoming the top salesman, me having that success in the gym and me seeing the difference between how I was treated before and after, that gave me a lot of confidence. But what really started that confidence was me going from skinny as hell to putting on real fucking muscle, right? To putting on solid muscle. And, you know, to me, it was like, yo, the muscle doesn't exist. Like, the process doesn't work. That's how I was thinking. I was like, yo, the process does not work because, like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't have, maybe I don't have the trap genetics. I can't have traps or shoulders because I had no shoulders, no traps. I was like, dude, they're not there. How do I know they're going to come here? Like, you have to have faith. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you really got to have faith in yourself, faith in the journey. Stop having doubt, feed into the faith, feed into the goal life that you want. And when that shit manifests, you're going to have so much confidence because you're gonna be like, yo, I stuck it through. I actually did this shit, right? So at the end of the year, when I had put on the muscle, people are asking for photo shoots. Chicks look at me way different. Chicks that literally rejected me in February, now in December, are hitting me up with hard eyes and shit like that, and they want a link. In the gym, people are like, yo, I want to train with you. Versus in February, people were literally looking at me like, dude, you're not a trainer, you're a janitor. I was like, what the fuck, bro? They just diagnosed me with being a janitor, bro. I'm a fucking trainer. They're like, you're funny. I'm like, dude, look at my license. They're like, dude, I don't have time for this bullshit, bro. Where's the trainer? And I was like, damn, bro. So yeah, when I went from that to the other side, that gave me a lot of confidence because I manifested and I made this life happen, right? And a lot of you guys will say stuff like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not comfortable with chicks. Go talk to more chicks then. When you do something over and over, right, and you fail, you learn from your failure, and then you eventually succeed, you overcoming that failure is a source of confidence as well. Because, for example, like when you see something, like, experience is one of the biggest confidence builders, period. Like, for example, if you're on your first ever date or you're on your first date in 5 years, you're going to be pretty awkward. You're going to be like, let me fill in this silence. Hello, I'm Luther. And you'll be awkward. That's fine. That's your first fucking date. That's how it's going to work until you get used to it, right? Once you have more dates under your belt, you're going to walk in with confidence. You're going to be more relaxed because you've done it before, right? But a lot of you guys aren't touching grass. A lot of you guys aren't out there. A lot of you guys aren't doing anything. Just like playing the fucking piano. If someone tells you to play the piano, you've never played the piano before, you're gonna be scared, right? You're not gonna have confidence, right? Exactly. If you've been practicing the piano for 10 years and you've played, Mozart and shit like that, if someone asks you to play the piano, you're gonna have more confidence. All right. So a lot of times, like, there is situational confidence too. Obviously, like, you're gonna be super comfortable. Like, after 10 years in the gym, you've pretty much done every workout. You've been doing, the same workouts for years. You're going to be confident in each movement. You're going to be strong in each movement. All right. And you're going to be very certain about what you're doing in the gym because you have a plan. Versus the first time you went to the gym, everything you did looked awkward. Your lunges were awkward. Your squats were awkward. People were trying to help you. That's how it is. Experience is your best teacher. Reps after reps after reps is how you're going to build a lot of your confidence. So when it comes to just going on dates, or even warm approaching chicks, if a chick gives you choosing signal, go warm approach her. The first few times will be awkward, then you'll get used to it. Because you'll have that experience in the bank, right? I've also gained like a lot of confidence through, just like, because I've been through a lot of hard shit. So when you go through like a lot of hard shit and you overcome it, and you tell yourself in the moment, you're like, yo, I'm gonna get through this, and you actually overcome it, that's gonna build confidence as well. That's why in sales, specifically, if you work sales, you're gonna get rejected so much and be like, holy shit, dude, I don't know if this can happen. When you get to the other side of sales, that in itself builds so much confidence that you believe you can do anything. Because if you get rejected, like when I was doing in-person training, I was like, you can give the other dude all the all the trainers. I mean, all the clients. I guess I'll have to go get my own. So I remember getting rejected by 100 people straight. And then I was like, you know what? Let me learn from this shit. I was reading Napoleon Hill. I was doing the inner work. I was doing the inner work. All right. You got to make sure that you're reading, you're listening to motivation, and you're feeding into your belief and you're reading your goals and you're serious about them. You have to make sure you're doing those things. Because a lot of you guys are like, man, I really want to reach my goal. I mean, I really want to, be on Body Game and have aura, but you're not doing anything. You're going to the gym and then you're eating healthy a little bit and then you're just like shutting away. You're not talking to anybody. You're not even saying hi to the cashier. You're just like, you feel me? You're not doing anything. You're not putting yourself out there or anything. You're not talking to any humans. You don't have any homeboys. You're not talking to any chicks. You don't even talk to your sister. You don't even talk to girls that used to be your friend. Like, you're not doing any of this stuff, right? So that also is gonna, hinder your ability, your basic social ability as well. Obviously, like if you're socializing, yeah, you're gonna be more comfortable socializing. If you're not socializing, you're gonna be very uncomfortable socializing. It's that simple, right? Repetition, repetition, repetition builds confidence. You got to remember, like I said, body game is more than looks. Without self confidence, body game is pretty much useless, right? The thing is, usually when you get on body game, you usually do get some self confidence because of what you have to overcome, right? Like I always say, for me, just being cooked in high school, being cooked at my first gym I ever worked at. Once I got to the other side, it was like, yo, this is what I always wanted. This is who I always wanted to be. So I'm in my goal self. I'm my goal self. So it's easier for me. Like for some of you guys, you can. Someone's asking me if they should go bald. It's up to how you feel. If you imagine yourself with that full head of hair and that makes you more confident, do that. If you don't give a fuck and you're confident with the bald head, do that too. It depends on how confident you are with each look. You see what I'm saying? Like if you have a bald head, you got a lined up beard, and you got confidence because you like your look. You feel me? Then you'll be fine. Like you have to be 100% bought into your look. You have to be 100% bought into yourself, and you can sense that shit. You can sense when someone's on their mission. You can sense when someone is confident in themselves. That's a huge one. Like you can sense that shit. And from a mile away, you can sense when someone's not on a mission. Really, they're kind of unsure, right? And it's gonna manifest in all your decisions because how you think is how you act. So all that negative self talk is gonna add up, and you're gonna start saying like someone's gonna be like, "Yo, you look great," and you're gonna be like, "I don't think so. I'm still working on me," and they're gonna be like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with that dude?" Versus like if you say if someone says, "Yo, you look great," like, "Yo, appreciate it, man. I've been working for years, man." Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Like people can sense when you're not confident, and that happens. Of course, everyone can, but specifically women can sense that shit. They can sense when you're not confident. They will literally be like, "Yo, what the fuck is wrong with this dude?" They could smell that shit from like a mile away. They won't even look at you, right? Because they'll be like, "Oh, he's just not confident." They can sense that shit. So you have to be, if you have a certain look in your head that you're aspiring to be, or you have a certain energy that you want to be in, or you have a vision of yourself, then you need to start moving in that vision of yourself. And as you start to move in that vision of yourself, yes, you'll gain that confidence, but that's what you need to work towards. All right. Because yeah, obviously having a good shoulder waist ratio, that's cool. But it's really the process of losing the fat, gaining the muscle, the arduous process of doing that shit and overcoming all these obstacles, saying no, setting boundaries, putting yourself first over and over and over again. That's what builds that self confidence and that trust. You know what I mean? Because like I always say, confidence is confiding in yourself. So that's what builds that, right? And small successes and wins. Like I said with the sales shit, if you had 100, like I got rejected by 100 plus people straight. When I started stacking wins, you feel what I'm saying? Because I was, like I said, I was doing the inner work. I was reading the books. I was watching the motivation. I was like, they said it's possible. Shit, I'm gonna just keep trying. Because hey, if I fail 1,000 times, I'm just Thomas Edison type shit. So I remember going through like 100, and then I read some Napoleon Hill. And then finally I started, I got my first client, then I got a second client, I got a third client, and those little successes and wins, it's like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it, and I didn't give up. I stayed true to myself. Like that's what you guys need. You guys need those moments when you stay true to yourself, which is what the fitness journey entails. Because to go from 25% to 10% body fat, you have to make a goal to get there and then have integrity, which means even when you don't feel like it, even when the mood leaves you, you still execute the entire journey. And then once you get to 10%, you can be like, yo, I fucking really did that. No one else did it for me. I did the work. When my grandma baked some fresh ass cookies when I was at 15%, and I was like, bro, please, I need one refeed day like I deserve this. You didn't give in. And that's what got you to the 10%. So that gives you that self-belief that you could do anything. All right, because best believe, I mean, like I always say, more millionaires than people in shape. I mean, just look outside. Go to the fucking grocery store. I mean, millionaires net worth, by the way. People be having like 401ks and like houses and shit like that. Maybe they have $0 cash, but they have houses, 401ks, all that other shit. So $1 million net worth is way more common than, people with abs or people who are lean. It just is what it is, right? And that's because it's very like you eat every fucking day. All right, so that means that you can't half-ass this shit. You can't be like, you know what, let me be lean tomorrow, and then you're lean tomorrow. Then the day after that, you're like, I don't feel like being lean. You can't do that. You got to always execute. All right, you got to always fucking execute. All right, and you, like I said, with the self-talk, your thoughts are going to influence action. So if you guys are thinking negatively of yourself, if you're not saying affirmations, if you don't believe in yourself, then it's going to manifest through your actions, right? You're not going to do certain things. You're not going to take certain risks, right? That's why chicks say, oh, I like when a guy approaches me, because it just means you believe in yourself and you don't give a fuck. You're outcome independent, right? Being outcome independent is also a big deal, which is why when you get in shape and you get better in your career, you become more outcome independent because you know you have options. All right, like for example, if you're on fucking Bumble and you have one match, and it's the first match you got in weeks, and it's the only match you have, you're going to be very careful about what you say. You're going to be like, uh hello there, hello there, darling. Oh, did I say the right thing? You're going to be so worried about what you're saying, and then you're probably going to message back fast and like scare her away because that's what you're thinking, right? Versus if you have 100 matches, you're just going to fucking text people whatever. You're going to forget some messages and be like, oh well, if you fuck up like 10 messages, you still have 90 left. You see what I'm saying? So that optionality is going to give you more confidence as well. For jobs, for me, when I went from working at Target and then working at Walmart, then Target, then the library, and then one nursing home, and then the gym, and then I started like working as a nurse. I used to look up the jobs on Indeed, and it's like, yo, 2,000 options. I'm like, yo, I'm Himothy. I got 2,000 fucking options of what to pick, and I'll go to different interviews. I go to like 10 different interviews. I'm like, yo, I got optionality. You see what I'm saying? So once you have that optionality and you're having success and you're having wins, that's also going to build your self-confidence. So experiencing life and just touching grass and overcoming things and not giving up and staying true to the path, that's what's going to build that aura over time. All right, that discipline and that aura over time. So yeah, man, so that's what you guys need to work on. A lot of you guys need to work on that. Do the inner work. Stop skipping that shit, because as within, so without type shit. I have one more video to make. Oh shit, you ready? I have one more. What's the last video? Oh, now. Man. Oh shit, it's